Hello and welcome to the Backseat Bible Study. We've got a hot and controversial topic today. I'll be talking about the first horseman of the apocalypse, the rider on the white horse. And I guarantee if you stay with me through the end, you'll either be shaking your head because your mind is blown, or you'll be shaking your head because it's the dumbest idea you've ever heard. Let me start by saying I've been taught all my life that the rider on the white horse is the Antichrist. It's the start of the 7-year tribulation, and all the seals, trumpets, vials, or bowls happen sequentially. After years of studying Revelation, I still believe the trumpets and bowls are sequential, but I've come to think of the seals as time periods, mainly because of the sixth seal, where the stars fall as if being shaken, the sky goes whoosh and rolls up like a scroll, and the mountains crumble and the islands flee. That to me sounds very much like Revelation 16, verses 17 through 21. So I'm going to show you why I suspect we might be in the first seal, but not in the tribulation. So with that, let me pull up my slides and walk you through how I got there. Oh, and of course I pulled it up at the very end. So let me go back to the beginning. Okay. All right. The first seal of Revelation, the rider on the white horse. Let me read from Revelation 6, 1 and 2. And I know I'm going to lose some of you King James people, but just listen because I'm going to explain to you why I'm reading from the NIV. I watched as the Lamb opened the first of the 7 seals. Then I heard one of the 4 living creatures say in a voice like thunder, "Come." I looked, and there before me was a white horse. Its rider held a bow, and he was given a crown, and he rode out as a conqueror bent on conquest. So what I did when I was studying this, I do frequently, is I like to look at the Greek. Not because I know Greek, because I don't. It is all Greek to me. But I just like to see what it says, and sometimes I'll click on a certain word and try to find out more about it. So when I looked at this verse on Bible Hub in the Greek analysis page, I found the word erku, come. And in the different texts, sometimes it says erku, just come, and sometimes it says erku kai id, or, which means come and see, or erku kai blepo. And yes, I had to Google everything to find out what these all sounded like and what they all meant. Come and look. All right, so in a thundering voice, the living creature says, "Come." King James says, it says, "Come and see." What does John do? He does not move. He turns his head and he looks. And there comes a white horse. Now, the reason this is significant to me is because the Apostle Paul tells us that the Antichrist is being restrained. But this, if the text is saying, the living creature says, "Come," then he is summoning the first rider. So that is just something that we all have to think about and deal with and work that out in our minds, hopefully with the Holy Spirit guiding us. So that is why I have read the verse in NIV. All right, let's start with the clues. First we have its writer held a bow. Notice that it doesn't talk about an arrow. It's just a bow. It was given a crown. It went out conquering and to conquer. So let's talk about the bow first. I Googled ancient Greek bows, and here's what they look like. You've got a variety of shapes. Most likely, if you were poor, you had one of these plain ones. If you had a little bit of money, then you had a little bit of a fancier one. Look, a really fancy one here. And you've got to imagine that there is a string right here. So all of these would have a straight line. He would not have held it by the string. He would have held it by the wood. So this string would have been a straight line. Now, the crown. In this verse, the word is Stephanos, and it's a garland, a wreath. And it is what a victor would wear, for instance, in the Olympics. The winner, and you've probably seen in Greek literature, they would wear a wreath. This is a Stephanos. This is not the same as a diademata, which is where we get the word diadem. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? I Googled ancient crowns and found this Hebrew crown. And it's just, to me, it's gorgeous. And it made me think of the crowns that Jesus will be wearing when he returns. And I threw this in there because I just love this picture. A lot can happen in 3 days. First, we have the crown of thorns, which to us is a symbol of humility and hurt and anguish and pain. But it's a Stephanos. It is a victor's crown. And then it transforms into the diademata, the ruling crown. A lot can happen in 3 days. Now, the conqueror. We've got the first word in that little bitty section is Nikon, which means overcomer, and then Nikesi, overpower. He went out to overcome, and he went out to overpower. Now we're going to take a look at these clues, and this is going to be, this is the controversial part, because these are really coincidental, and I want you to open your mind and I want to challenge your thinking on this. Let's go back to the bow and look at what is going on today and apply it to today. I want you to take a look at these other forms of curves. What have we been talking about for the last 1.5 years? We've been talking about flattening the curve. And you may have figured out now where I'm going with this, but stay with me, because I think there are too many coincidences to be coincidental. Next, let's talk about the crown. And here's another little bit of digging that I've done. The Vulgate specifically translate the Stephanos as corona. I thought that was very interesting. I want you to see the spike protein. You may or may not know that a Freedom of Information Act produced, oh, I don't know if it's hundreds or thousands, but it produced a lot of emails that people are pouring through right now. Well, isn't that just wonderful?
Hello, please leave a message after the.
Do I start this over or do I keep going? I'm going to keep going. So people are pouring through these emails, trying to figure out what was known and when it was known. And this is a snippet from one of the emails, which looks as if it was given a spike protein. I'm going to let you look at this. It's, to me, it's very interesting, and it's also virology, which I'm not a student of virology, but I can read the English parts and I can see the words was mixed with and incorporating, and I see spike protein. So we don't know yet, but we're working on, I say we're not, people are working on finding out. Was it manufactured? Was it given a crown? That remains to be seen. All right, let's go to the conqueror now. When I first started looking at the map, even in the very beginning, when all of these dots were small, the thing that stood out to me was that there were dots everywhere. All of these gray dots right here, all of these, and even down here. Up here, this is Svalbard. It is in the Arctic Circle, but the virus is everywhere. It overcame and it overpowered the entire world, even in the remotest islands. It's everywhere. I thought that was interesting. All right, so we have all of these coincidences, but there was something that still kind of nagged in my mind. All four of the horses are different. They're different colors. We have a white one. We have a flaming red horse, which there's no such thing as a flaming red horse. Then we have a black horse, and we have a pale horse. And once again, the Greek word for the pale horse is where we get our green from. It's kind of a sickly green. It's chlorophyll. The chloro is where, so we have either a pale horse or a green horse, depending on how you interpret it. So I started thinking, why would it have been a white horse? What is significant about that? And so, just for kicks, I Googled white horse China, and my mouth dropped to the floor when it actually came up with something. Let me show you this. White Horse Temple, right here in northern China. This is called the birthplace of Buddhism, or the cradle of Buddhism in China. what happened is an emperor had a dream about a shining, I think it was a shining Buddha, and he sent people to India asking them to come and tell him about the teachings of the Buddha. So these monks from India came through here, and I actually couldn't find the route, but I don't think they would have crossed the mountains. I think they would have come around this way. And right here, there used to be a village called White Horse Village. It's been replaced with something a little more modern now, but it was there. And they came through here, and here's where they settled. And here's where a temple was built in their honor, but it was called White Horse Temple because they came on white horses and they brought their scriptures on these white horses. Now, if you look, can you see that right there? It's another coincidence, and I kind of think it's a big one, that this area is known as the White Horse area in China. All right. So those are all the clues. It's up to you to decide now, is this a coincidence or is this a God incidence? Either these are all coincidences or they are not coincidences at all. This is just something that I think that we ought to think about, because we have been taught all of our lives this, and this. And I started thinking years ago when I first started studying this, is it really what it says? Does it say that the seals are judgments? It actually doesn't. It says that the trumpets are judgment, but it doesn't say that about the seals. And so that's what got me thinking, well, is what we know about this really true, or is it just supposition? Now, let me make this clear. What I am presenting is supposition. If you're more comfortable thinking that the white horse, the rider on the white horse, is the Antichrist, if you want to stick with that, you stick with that. Let's just leave it there. You make up your own mind, because this is called the Backseat Bible Study for a reason. I'm sitting in the back seat. You should be sitting in the front seat. Your own Bible study should be doing the driving, not mine. So you search this out for yourself. And if you want to argue about this, that's fine. You can leave messages on my YouTube channel, or you can email me. My email address is gaylamail@gmail.com. GAYLAMAIL@gmail.com. That's fine. Let me know what your thoughts are. But regardless, I want to leave you with this blessed hope, because even if it is the white horse, even if we are in the first seal, and no, I do not believe we're in the tribulation, we have this blessed hope, looking for the blessed hope and glorious appearing of our great God and Savior, Jesus Christ. It just means that we are that much closer, and this is a good thing. All right. Thank you for watching. This has been an episode of the Backseat Bible Study. I hope you've watched all the way through, and I hope that I have challenged you. I hope that you will think about this. But I will see you next time. Bye-bye.